Hello everyone, my name is Sherry Gould, and in October of 2015 I took on the new role of the Curriculum Steering Committee Coordinator. Welcome to this screencast designed to familiarize you with the CSC, or Curriculum Steering Committee, site. This site, which educators in the district can access through their rsu19.net account, is the official curriculum site. This is where you can find the most current committees, meeting dates, and curriculum documents. Because this site is web-based, you can access it anywhere you have internet access, and because the work is done in Google, you can be assured that you'll be accessing the most current versions of all the work. That, of course, means that you won't want to print hard copies of the documents and just trust that they haven't been revised. This work represents a living document, one which is subject to change as we pilot assessments and review them through the lens of student work. To access the CSC site, you'll first want to make sure that you're logged into your rsu19.net account. If you have forgotten your username or your password, please email Kern Kelly with a request for support. I personally find that the Chrome browser is best for using Google Drive and Google Sites. As you can see here, I've logged into my account. Next, I click onto the dot matrix here to bring up the Google apps that I can access. Then, I click on Sites. Your Sites page will look a little different from mine. These are the sites that I have quick access to. If the Curriculum Steering Committee site doesn't show up for you, like it does for me here, you can search for it by clicking on Browse Sites and then typing in Curriculum Steering Committee in the search box. If it still doesn't show up for you, you'll see the web address later in this screencast. Or you can always send me an email and I'll reply with a link to the site. So, here's the home page of the CSC site. On the right, you'll see a listing of the members of the Curriculum Steering Committee, including the subject area leaders, or SALs, for each content area. The 4 content areas of ELA, Math, Science, and Social Studies each have an assistant SAL. These are your points of contact for discipline-specific questions or for information about joining a committee. At the bottom of the list, you'll see a link to the job description for the SALs, if you're interested in taking a look at that. In the middle of the CSC homepage is the document that guides the committee's work. Our first task was to use a protocol to identify the graduation standards that RSU19 students are required to demonstrate proficiency in. Clear expectations based on national standards and state standards in each content area of what we want every student to know and be able to do at each grade span. In RSU19, the graduation standards are consistent in grades K through 12 in each content area. The next step for the committees was to continue to dig deeply into the standards and identify performance indicators for each standard. Performance indicators are the SWABOT, or the students will be able to statements, that taken together are used to demonstrate proficiency at the standard level. Each committee used a protocol and a design guide to focus our collaborative thinking. Once graduation standards and performance indicators were designed, the committees then turned to writing scoring criteria for each performance indicator. For RSU19, the scoring criteria is written in I can statements, which reveal a progressive statement of rigor at each of the 4 proficiency levels. Again, each committee used a protocol and a design guide to collaboratively do this work. The performance indicators, along with their respective scoring criteria, are used to develop summative assessments that are intended to be used district-wide. And, just as was done with the previous work, committees depend on an assessment development protocol and design guide to create assessments and to review existing assessments. Because we're designing a district curriculum, all assessments are created using a template and are housed in this site so that every district educator can access them as needed. And of course, a common assessment structure is also a benefit for our students as well. By the end of the 2015-2016 school year, each content area committee is expected to have developed at least one standards-based assessment for each grade span: K2, 3-4, 5-6, 7-8, and 9-12. Most content areas are on track to accomplish this, and a few assessments have been piloted and will be ready for committee review with student work. Once the summative assessments are created, committees are tasked with collaboratively building standards-based unit plans, again using a template and housed in the CSC site. Unit plans use a UBD, or Understanding by Design, model with 3 stages. Stage 1 identifies the standards and indicators. Stage 2 identifies the assessment. And Stage 3 digs into the daily instruction. As we develop Stage 3, we identify learning targets that all teachers will use, formative assessments for those learning targets that we recommend all teachers use, and learning activities for those learning targets that teachers may use. The intent is to provide clear learning outcomes while allowing for individual teacher expertise in how students will reach those learning outcomes. So let's turn to the sidebar on the left now. You'll notice that there are 3 subpages for the CSC homepage. Those are CSC meeting presentations, CSC meetings, and curriculum storage. So clicking on the first subpage will take you to each of the keynote presentations that have been designed and shared to help build conceptual understanding and direction for the RSU 19 proficiency-based curriculum. Educators can access and review each of these as needed, and administrators as well as subject area leaders are encouraged to use them, or parts of them, in your own work with colleagues. The next subpage, CSC Meetings, will take you to a page where you can find the agendas and the meeting notes for each of the Curriculum Steering Committee meetings. Jean Hager, our Great Schools coach, and I facilitate monthly meetings for the SALs and the assistant SALs as we build capacity designing and implementing a standards-based curriculum in RSU 19. The third subpage, Curriculum Storage, is designed for use by SALs and assistant SALs and is pretty self-explanatory. So let's look back at the left sidebar once more. You'll notice that there are additional pages, which include assessment design, proficiency-based learning, and standards development. These pages include all sorts of resources and tools to help you better understand this work. Take some time to poke around in there. At the very bottom, you'll see a link to unit design. As we prepare to move forward with unit plans, this page will contain links to resources for that step. But the pages that you will most likely visit most often are layered within the subject areas page of the CSC site. Each content area page contains the same folders: agendas, assessments, minutes, standards with performance indicators and scoring criteria, and unit plans. Within these folders, you'll find the documents that you'll need as you plan your own instruction. For example, within the Standards folder, you'll find a spreadsheet for each graduation standard in that content area. The first page of the spreadsheet provides you with a broad look as you see the performance indicators for that standard at each grade span. Clicking on the tabs at the bottom of the page will take you to that grade span, where you can access the scoring criteria for each performance indicator at that grade span. So teachers at every level really should familiarize themselves with the standards, the performance indicators, and the scoring criteria. The class of 2019 is the first RSU 19 class to graduate in a proficiency-based system. District educators, with the help of administration, subject area leaders, and assistant subject area leaders, are encouraged to use the work that's been done to plan instruction and to assess learning. The CSC site will continue to grow as the curriculum develops. There will be more assessments, there will be unit plans, there will be daily learning targets organized by indicator, and more. The CSC site will house the living document of the RSU 19 curriculum. It's my hope that you'll visit the site often, share the site with your colleagues. Use a grade level meeting to explore it together and discuss how you might pilot an assessment. If you do that, please reach out to the subject area leader of that content area with the results. Maybe share some student work. Reach out to a subject area leader or an assistant SAL and ask about participating on a content area committee to deepen your understanding and to provide your input. For now, on the CSC site, only SALs and assistant SALs have access to edit work or to add or delete documents. So if you have something that you'd like posted, please email the subject area leader for that content area. In closing, I hope that this screencast has been helpful to you. If you have comments or questions about the site or about the work, please email Jean Hager or me. We welcome your feedback.